You have to rise and shine each morning, spreading joy to the world.
Vicks Vapor Rub, mimeograph paper, cafeteria pizza on a Friday. If you just went somewhere, you're one of us. Here's the thing nobody talks about. People who grew up in the 1970s carry something that's hard to explain to anyone who wasn't there. It's not just nostalgia. It's specific. A smell, a sound, a Saturday morning. And suddenly you're completely back, not remembering it. In it. There's a reason for that. And by the end of this, you'll know what it is. Let's start with the one that doesn't ask permission. Number 1. Mimeograph paper. The teacher walked in with a stack of papers, still warm off the machine, and every kid in that room did the exact same thing, brought it straight to their face and inhaled. Nobody told us to do that. Nobody had to. Sharp, chemical, faintly sweet, and absolutely not something anyone should have been huffing. And yet here we all were, doing it in every classroom, in every state, simultaneously. That smell doesn't exist anymore, which means it only lives now in the people who remember it. You just became the archive. Number 2. Cafeteria pizza on Fridays. It was a square with cheese that had no real relationship to dairy and a sauce that tasted like someone had described tomatoes to a person who'd never seen one. And the smell of it hit you halfway down the hallway on a Friday morning, and your whole body just went, yes. It wasn't pizza. It was freedom arriving early. Your brain filed that smell next to weekend and never let go. 40 years later, it still works. The 70s really did a number on us. Number 3. Library paste. Nobody liked this smell, that needs to be said. Slightly sweet, slightly chemical. The kind of smell that made you wrinkle your nose and then keep the jar open anyway because you were 8 and had nothing better to do. And you remember exactly what it looked like. The white jar, the flat wooden stick, the way it dried on your fingers in thin, rubbery sheets you spent the rest of class peeling off. The teacher's voice somewhere in the background while you were definitely paying attention. No regrets. If any of these are already taking you back, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from, and honestly, you're going to want to be here for the next one. Number 4. Lemon pledge on wood furniture. Before you were allowed to be a human being, there was cleaning. Same deal in every house in America. Cleaning first, then the day was yours. Yellow can, cloth, circles on the coffee table, cartoons playing in the background that you were technically watching. Lemon pledge smells like the low-grade injustice of being a child with places to be, and also Saturday, somehow both. Number 5. Vicks Vapor Rub. Wait until you see what moms did with this one. Your mother appeared in the doorway with that jar and a look that said she'd already decided what was happening and your opinion was not required. Cold of the jar, menthol hit that cleared your sinuses and possibly your entire personality. And then, tucked back in, nothing to do, someone else handling the world. Vicks doesn't smell like being sick. It smells like being taken care of. And if you grew up in the 70s, you know exactly which one you miss more. If your mother is still alive, she probably still has the same jar. Number 6. An attic in July. Nobody sent you up there. You went on your own. The heat hit you at the top of the stairs like a wall. Then, hot wood, dust, old paper, something faintly metallic. Suitcases nobody had opened since 1962. A lamp with no origin story. Photographs of people you half recognized and couldn't quite ask about anymore. An attic in July smells like time itself. Heavy thought for a 10-year-old just looking for somewhere cool to hide. Number 7. Jean Naté Body Splash.
You have to rise and shine each morning, spreading joy to the world. Jean Naté will splash you happy. Jean Naté will splash you happy, yeah.
Take a minute to indulge yourself every day with Jean Naté.
You didn't wear Jean Naté. You experienced it. Because the women in your house did, and the evidence was overwhelming. Your mother before a night out. Your sister before a date she'd been talking about all week. Jean Naté smells like someone else's anticipation. An evening that hadn't happened yet, bottled. You weren't invited. But if you grew up in the 70s, you remember it anyway. Number 8. Aquanet Hairspray. The can was pink. The smell was somewhere between a beauty product and a structural engineering decision. If you shared a bathroom with a sister in the 70s, you know this smell the way you know your own name. Eyes closed, breath held, full cloud deployment, and then 15 minutes of it settling on every surface in a 3-foot radius, including you, whether you were involved or not. You didn't use it, you were collateral. You went to school smelling faintly of hairspray and nobody questioned it because everyone did. Number 9. Charlie by Revlon.
There's a fragrance that's here today and they call it Charlie. A different fragrance that thinks your way, yeah, they call it Charlie.
Here's one I didn't wear, but I remember it anyway. The ads showed something nobody had seen before. A woman walking. Wide-leg pants, briefcase, somewhere to be, not asking permission. It became the best-selling perfume in the world by 1975. I remember the women who wore it. You could tell before they said a word. It wasn't selling a scent. It was selling a version of themselves they'd just decided they were allowed to be. You didn't have to wear Charlie to remember it. You just had to be paying attention. And people who grew up in the 70s were paying attention to everything. I'm curious, what part of growing up in the 1970s do you think people today would never fully understand? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Number 10. The movie theater. Popcorn, carpet, something else. Nobody could ever name the something else. Recycled cold air, accumulated decades of darkness. A cleaning product doing its best under difficult circumstances. You walked through those doors and your whole body shifted. Different rules in here. It wasn't one smell. It was a feeling. Anticipation with a top note of butter. The reliable promise that for the next 2 hours, whatever was happening outside those walls was someone else's problem. People who grew up in the 70s built an entire relationship with that feeling. We didn't appreciate it enough at the time. We never do. Here's the part nobody warned us about. Some of these still exist. Aquanet is on shelves. Jean Naté is out there. Vicks hasn't changed. And some of you are going to track one down, open it, take a breath. And it won't be the same. Not because the formula changed, though some have. It's because people who grew up in the 70s aren't chasing a scent. They're chasing everything around it. The age you were, the house it lived in, the specific weight of a Tuesday morning in 1974 that doesn't exist anywhere but in you. That's why we never really got over it. It's not that we're stuck, it's that we're carrying something nobody else can see. And every once in a while, a smell kicks the door open and there it all is. If this took you back, click the video on screen. It's everything every 1970s bathroom had, and trust me, you're not ready. And tell me in the comments, which one got you? And is there one I missed that only people who grew up in the 70s would understand?